Hello, hello, hello. This is Tando from Cosmic Spark, and I'm back with another video. This one is for my masculines. Don't worry, I will never forget you. If you see me do a reading for the feminines, a masculine reading is coming up shortly after, because I am a Libra and I'm all about balance and light and dark, male and feminine, any polarity, you know? So yeah, let's get straight into it. Angels, Ancestor, Spirit. This is a reading for my masculine collective. Please assist me in the reading. Let me know what the masculines are. What are they dealing with? What do they need to know at this time? Thank you, Holy Spirit. What is the message for my masculine collective? Clear and concise messages only, and we rebuke any trickster spirits. Okay, masculines, you're actually coming up as being particularly satisfied at the moment. I am going to get some more information on that, but there's a general energy that things are panning out in your favor or things are going well. Let me just use the oracle to get some more information to clarify the cards that I've pulled so I can get a better story. Okay, so some of my masculine collective are currently really satisfied because they're gaining a lot of strength through whatever your spiritual belief systems are. So you might be finding that right now you feel quite aligned and quite at peace because you feel very strong in your value system. You feel like you are on track. You might be doing some private study in your spirituality, and it's really kind of, as you're learning and reading, you're getting like light bulb moments, and it's really like aligning aspects of like your childhood. It's making some things make sense in the present, and it's helping you make decisions easier because you have something to pull from, something deep and worthy, something that is faith-based. There is this energy that whatever your faith is, you don't even have to be spiritual. You could be an atheist. Because to me, whatever it is, whether it's atheism or not, you have a specific belief system. Your belief system with atheism is that you don't believe in a greater power. And that's something that you pull from when you make decisions. That's still valid. I don't think that one is better than the other. You believe what you want to believe. But whatever your value system is, it's what you build your life upon. It's how you make decisions. It's what shapes what you do and how you see the world. And it feels like you're currently really, really good with that. Like you and you are really like this on the inside, which is really, really lovely. And then just underneath that is sort of more things that's happening and that we can pull from. And so yeah, this kind of validates it. I've got the strength card. It's a very graphic card, so I'm not going to show it. It's from the Manara Tarot deck. So if you just look up the strength card in that, you'll see what I mean. It's very phallic. So we've got the strength card and the pilgrimage card, which I think just validates exactly what I said. You are pulling personal power based on your belief system and based on a journey that you're going within. It's not something anyone can see, and it might be something that you're doing physically, like you might be reading books and taking notes. You might be listening to podcasts or whatever. You might be listening to, if you've got I'm getting like Stephen Fry, for example. Like you might have someone that you really look up to that matches your belief system, and you might be listening to them, and it might be giving you downloads about who you are, where you're going, what you believe in, and it's just revalidating and like strengthening your belief system. It's not feeling like you've changed your belief system. It's feeling like you're feeling more rooted. You're like, yes, I don't know why I haven't been reading this in a while or listening to this in a while, because this is exactly how I feel. This is so me, and it's just so liberating and validating, and that's the energy that you're in at the moment. You are keeping some secrets though, and it could be because maybe your beliefs aren't something that you feel like you can share with your friends or your colleagues or whatever. Or it could be because you're embarking on a new creative project. This is the Knave of Fire in the Monaro Tarot deck, underlined by secrecy from my Arcadia Oracle. And so it's really giving that you're focused on something new creatively. You might be thinking about changing jobs. You might be thinking about starting a new hobby. You might be thinking about some sort of personal interest that's a real point of passion within you. And I feel that it's in the early stages. So you're not yet ready to share what you're doing or where you're going. And that's perfectly valid from what I can see here. But there is this element, though. It's really funny because largely we're getting, oh, you're satisfied, oh, you're working on something. And then comes the tower, and then comes the shadow. And so I would like to put these other cards to the side so we can really get into we can get to understand what that's about and where that's coming from. Let's delve deeper into this. Angels, ancestor spirit, can you please let me know what is the nature of this tower? I'm going to pull 3 cards to explain the nature of the tower and a final card to explain what to do to get out of that. Thank you. That's funny. That kind of was at the bottom of the deck before. And lastly, how are we getting out of this tower, please, Spirit? I'm going to pull one more card from the Oracle, which is specifically on how we're going to get out of this tower. How can the masculines or divine masculine energy free himself from the tower? Oh, I love that that fell out. Okay. So, this tower is stemming from you're overwhelmed, you're overworking, you have too much on your plate. So, this could be some of you. It might not be everyone in the reading. You might have related to the first bit and not this bit, or it could be all coinciding because that's what happens. Like, I suffer with depression, but sometimes I feel like I'm still happy at some points during my depression. Like, it's fine, you know what I mean? And so this is the 10 of Pentacles in the Monaro Tarot deck. This is the 7 of Fire, which is basically the 7 of Wands. That's giving very much overwhelm. Like, I can feel it in my body as well. And this is the 3 of Wands, or the 3 of Fire. So you have way too many plans, way too many fingers and too many pies. You might be working long hours, and you're doing this all for the happiness and success of the family unit, for your own happiness and success. And maybe that's even where you started it from. You were like, I want to knuckle down in the next 6 months, the next 3 years or whatever. I just want to work really, really hard until I get to this stage. And it's like you've already been doing that, but you've recently come to a point of like, oh my God, am I pushing myself too hard? Yes, you are. Because with the shadow here, it's giving, you might also be spending too much time working or on these like future goals that you have as a way of not looking at shadow aspects of yourself. If you're lucky, you're now looking at those shadow aspects through that first half of the reading where we're talking about you getting in your spiritual bag and letting that make you feel settled. And typically when you're going through like a spiritual practice or whatever, it helps you face your shadow. But if it's not something that you're doing actively, you are overworking. You know, you're telling yourself that you're only doing this so that you and the people around you can be happy, but you're also avoiding looking at your other problems. So for example, super random example, is the first thing I'm thinking of, so maybe it's a channel. You might have had previously an issue with alcoholism and you kind of worked through it, and it's been a while, but now you're working really, really hard, and you're not looking at the fact that every night after work you started drinking on a like basically every day, which sometimes people think alcoholism looks a certain way, but it doesn't have to be like you binge drinking every time, but it's like you're drinking like a fair amount every single day of the week, and that's a problem, and you've flipped into old patterns. Or you might be working so hard that you're neglecting your physical body, so you're working long hours at work and you're not even having lunch, or you're not having lunch on time, and your first meal of the day is like 3 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. There's just this energy that you're using your hard work and your ambition while posturing it as to feed the family and or to feed you intrinsically and in a wholesome way, or even in a familial way. And all of that is a smokescreen for the fact that you've got other problems that relate to your shadow side. Everyone has a shadow side. You have aspects of yourself that you don't like. You have aspects of yourself that you don't want to face. That if someone told you that you were like this, you would deny it like no man's business, because you're like, no, that couldn't be me. I don't want that to be me. And how dare you? And here I am telling you that you 12 as I said that, that you've got things that you need to face. So if you're struggling and you don't even know where to start with shadow work, look up shadow work questions. Look up shadow work questions. If you have an area of your life that you do like intrinsically, when I say that, you're like, yeah, I might be avoiding this area of my life, look up shadow questions for that area of your life and really start like getting, you're already in the energy of like a level of introspection or introversion. So why not utilize this time to get really deep and understand what your shadow looks like, so you know how to amalgamate and integrate it into yourself, right? But let's see what the cards say for how you are going to get out of this energy, or what they say that you can get out of this. Ace of Swords, the truth. Being absolutely honest with yourself as to what it is that you're avoiding, what it is that you don't like about yourself, naming it. There's so much, so much, so much power in us naming the things that we don't like, naming the things that keep us up at night, that we try to suppress or try to lock in the closet of our mind. I definitely think I have a closet in my mind for sure, and it's got lots of drawers and I've got heaps of things in there. But I do have to open those drawers one by one and do something about it, because I know that it helps. That's why I'm a psychic. I'm a psychic because I don't shy away from doing the work. And so let me be the one to tell you that doing the work is worth it every time, every single time. It hurts. But the best part about doing shadow work, you don't have to do it in front of everyone. You don't have to do it in front of anyone. You can just admit it to yourself privately, no one there, and then slowly come to acceptance, because you're allowing yourself to have that conversation with yourself about what is or isn't, what you will or will not accept, that you aren't perfect and there are aspects of you that you don't like, right? So just being deathly honest with yourself. I always look at the Ace of Swords as the sword of truth. You know, it's the sword that Lady Justice is holding for the Librans. And then sisterhood. I personally would say this is brotherhood, because I don't think there's a equivalent in this deck. So, but either or. Look, I'll present all the options and you do whatever you feel. But I look at this card as leaning on the energies of your whatever gender principle that you're a part of. So if you're the masculine energy, then you're leaning into the brotherhood. And if you're feminine energy, you're leaning into sisterhood, because much as I have male friends and I support them, I think no one understands masculinity more than other men. I would hope that you have healthy friendships and healthy male role models with which you can bring your problems, that you can discuss them safely and talk about unpacking these things. And I also hesitate to tell you to lean on the women in your life to do this, because women already do a lot of emotional labor for men. I know that's a whole different conversation, but I think it's good for you to lean on other men. And if you don't have those men in your life and you only have women, you need to work on having men in your life that you can have those conversations with, so you're not leaving the bulk of, because women have a lot of emotional intelligence that comes from the way that they're socialized. I don't even think it's like intrinsic. I think it's there's some men that are only raised in like all male children households, maybe by a single mom or whatever. And because it's like the eldest child, you know, he was socialized differently. And so some men will naturally have that emotional intelligence because of the way that they're raised. But so many men have to kind of gain that over time through life experience. And so I think it's so much more worth it for you to take time to make space, because also I think the just as a side note, the divine masculine in general is suffering so much in this world and in society. They're so wounded. And I think the way to help the masculine energy and the masculine vibrations raise is through other masculine energies saying that it's important and making it their business to create, what's the word, community amongst yourselves, right? And so it's kind of like sometimes men are like, you women, you know, you say, excuse me, you women say you know and you understand that the masculine energy, and men are going through so much, and that's why the suicide rate is so high. So what are you doing about it? And it's like, much as women can do, women will always do things for the greater society, I think, for something that helps everyone. But I think for masculine energy to feel higher vibrational, they have to take their own issues seriously. And so it's in the same way that I think you have to lean on your own gender, not exclusives. I'm not saying never speak to a woman about your problems. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying there's like a certain beauty that you will get from your brotherhood if you make one or if you are a part of one. The same way that I make a lot of time for my female friends. Like I'll take them out on dates, I'll buy them flowers. I remember their birthdays. I go out of my way to think of them. Hey, you haven't spoken to me in a while. How's your mental health? I want to encourage my male collective to do that for each other and have a male healthy group that you can lean on for your emotional woes, so that you can help each other unpack things that the patriarchy has instilled in you that is also detrimental to your own mental health. So I didn't mean for that to be a lecture, but I feel like if I'm saying it, Spirit needs you to hear it anyway. And if you're taking the time out to listen to me, that I am going to use my platform for good and use my platform for us to heal collectively, the divine masculine and the feminine energies. As a Libra, as I said at the start of the video, I am all about balance. I am all about, you know, the polarities meeting. I'm all about the gray in between the white and the black. And so I am here to support you masculines and say, I am here for you, but you need to find other men that are there for you in your day to day. And you need to create really healthy relationships with them so that you can pass that on to the younger generation. You can pass that on to other men that are feeling lonely and unheard. And so I'm really, really happy that overarchingly this reading was positive. Overarchingly, you are satisfied and you're gaining satisfaction from your spiritual beliefs and from your whatever guidance system that you use, your moral compass, so to speak. I'm really, really happy to hear that. But I hope that you can listen to this message and be receptive. If you've got any comments about anything that I said, any rebuttals, any support, please say that in the comments below. If you'd ever like to get a reading from me personally, I'll be more than happy to help you on your journey and give you some advice as a reader, not as your little feminine friend, but more as like a healer. You know, I'm more than happy to guide you in that way. But if you want to find male healers because of anything that I said, that's healthy and that's perfectly fine with me. You know, I have no problems with that. But I hope to see you again. I hope you stick around for a while. Have a great day.